What's going on? How we doing? How we living? YouTube and my people out there. All right. How we doing? Okay. Glad to have you guys back. Appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, do all that. Chime, hype it up, do what you gotta do. But if you're here, then you know what we do here, and you ain't new here. All right. So yeah, what we like to do here, cover different trending topics, different things that are going viral, stories that don't really seem to be getting the mainstream attention, so to speak. So want to talk about in this video today something that's been on the tips of a lot of people's tongues, and um, it's starting to become a more trending topic for people to kind of just discuss openly, and that's how these data centers keep popping up all across America all of a sudden now. Um, it's been very secretive how they've been installing these facilities in different communities around the country. I just got a flyer in the mail like last week about this data center is going to be here in your region in the next year or so. So they're giving people heads up that this is going to increase your bills essentially. Like you are going to have a surge increase in electricity and water, all different types of things that are just you're going to be it's going to basically be making your bills go up. Okay, it's going to inflate your bills. You're going to be eating the cost of everything for the most part. So yeah, it's things aren't looking good in this country. 2032. I keep hearing that's what we have to look forward to. To maybe there's some kind of ease with the inflation and everything. So yeah, you gotta strap up and buckle down for these next few years. It's not going to be easy. Okay, this economy. Okay, um, these tariffs that the president's put on, it's not making things easier for us at this time. So. But yeah, like I said, I got a video of some of a compilation essentially of people talking about the data centers and kind of how you can be affected by it. So yeah, let's just hop right into it because I'm sure you guys don't want to hear me keep talking. All right.
So you're paying more for electricity every month, and it's not because it's you. It's
Uh, just real quick, this is a great creator. I think her channel is the Homestead Life. So make sure you guys follow her on YouTube. She got a much bigger platform than I do, but I do like her content, and so just want to shout her out.
because a massive data center is moving in down the road. We have people that are losing their homes. We have people that do not have clean water anymore. We have cities that are going to be running out of water. What is going on? Why are there so many massive data centers popping up all over the country? I cover this on the channel pretty often, so make sure you are subscribed to always see what's going on. But let's go ahead and check out some clips of what people are currently going through right now that have data centers moving into the area, or people that are even working on building these massive facilities.
So basically, the government has granted an emergency order for data centers to tie into the main electrical grid across most of the Midwest and the coast. And they've also, in that emergency order, granted them to run diesel generators 24 hours a day. With us having a diesel shortage already, because we're not getting any fuel in from the war, that means that they are digging into the supply that is already dwindling. So yes, 8 to 12 weeks, if nothing else changes, we most likely run out of diesel, or at least the oil is needed to create it. There's more to this, but obviously I got to get back to work. My break's up, so I will see you guys soon.
Yeah.
I would not freak out about this. I'd just start learning how to grow your own food, if anything, kind of like we do. Problem is it's not grown yet.
So George is just going to
No
be one big
sustainability,
data center.
folks.
You guys, that is not one data center. That number right there is how many are right here. Also, I just found out that data centers don't even have to legally report how much water they use. Just when you think it can't get any worse, Georgia Power is taking people's property and homes through eminent domain to expand their high voltage power lines to support these data centers. Now, the lovely interns at Science for Georgia have made some interactive maps. The black spots are current data centers. The orange ones are ones that are coming. Look at the numbers just in this area. So these are the current operational estimates for water usage in Georgia. Now, why is this an estimate? Oh, yeah, that's right, because they don't legally have to report how much water they're using. However, Senator Durbin out of Illinois has proposed this Water and Energy Transparency Act. The data centers would need to report their energy and water use, and this was just introduced in March. But then I was like, aren't they paying for water by the gallon? They are, and in fact, usually at a much lower rate than you and I. They negotiate rates. Google, for example, paid $6.08 per 1,000 gallons, whereas the locals were paying $10.80 for 1,000 gallons. But just because they're paying for it doesn't mean they have to report it. Now, Project Sail, the 829-acre data center that is coming to Coweta County, Georgia Power is set to demolish 2230 homes because they need to expand the power line. And they are doing this through eminent domain, which is the government's right to take your property if they need it for public use. And in this case, Georgia Power is a public use company.
Wow.
Now, they have to give these people fair market value for their homes and properties. From what I've heard, Georgia Power is not trying to do that.
What? Are you serious?
You can see it's in the high 58s, 59s to 60s.
So you mean to tell me that in Utah, they're restricting water supply to homesteaders that literally live off their land? They have to water their crops. They need water for, showers and cooking and everything else. They need water for their animals, and they're limiting their water supply. But in the same state, they just approved a 40,000-acre AI data center by Kevin O'Leary in the same state that they're limiting water supply to people that are growing their own crops. And then now, guess what else? Palantir and USDA just partnered for $300 million for a contract so they can control the food. They can make sure that the food is okay.
You ever notice they never build data centers where rich people live? And that should tell you everything that you need to know. Because if data centers were so amazing and quiet and safe for the environment, rich people would be fighting to get them in their neighborhoods. But they're not. Now, America already had about 4,000 data centers. And at the end of 2025, they were already either planning in the process of constructing an additional 3,000 data centers. But funny how they're not popping up next to gated communities, golf courses, waterfront mansions. No, they show up near regular people. Because see, data centers bring noise. They use massive amounts of water, and they drive up electricity costs. And so while they're building all these data centers in your backyard, they're also replacing jobs with automation powered by those data centers. So the next time a local official comes to you talking about a data center, ask them one simple question. If it's so great, why aren't rich people volunteering for it to be next to them?
Why do data centers need clean water? Why is it raising my electricity bill? It's come to my attention a lot of people don't actually know how data centers work. So let me explain to you top down how this is affecting you, the environment, and your wallet. For starters, you need to know that the internet is not something that's invisible, like a cloud that's floating in the air. Every single message you send on Facebook, every Google search, every generative AI slop picture you make has a tangible physical server that is in a warehouse that's called a data center. And this is what it looks like inside of a data center. It is a bunch of server blocks that are stacked on top of another that have CPUs, GPUs, TPUs, any sort of computer processing unit that accounts for you sending your Facebook message to your granny to make sure that she's okay every now and then. Here's where the water comes in. If you know anything about computers, maybe even your PS5, you've noticed, has gotten really hot and it starts to not work well. It's the same with computers and processing units and servers. Essentially, these data centers, they run 24/7, 365, put out an immense amount of energy and heat. And all that heat needs to be cooled down, which accounts for insane amount of HVAC, air conditioning, and water coolants. Essentially, they cool these units.
This simple morning eye ritual restored my vision. At first, I didn't want to tell anyone.
Units with cold water, and it has to be clean water. They'll cool them via tubing through the actual servers. They'll use a flat plate and inject it with clean water and cold water. Or sometimes data centers will even submerge these servers into water. And it has to be clean. You can't take lake or ocean water and run that through servers or submerge servers in that, because A, they could be corrosive, or B, they could have contaminants like algae, other foreign material, and it will cause those servers to physically deteriorate. It will make those servers not work. It will break them. So it has to be clean and treated. And a lot of people don't know this, but they treat this water with a lot of chemicals, biocides. And a lot of these companies will dump those chemical materials into the environment. And here's why AI data centers are raising your electricity bill. There was a difference before between social media data centers or regular infrastructure data centers that we have been using for years and years. AI is a whole other industry that we have implanted into our infrastructure. It is essentially adding hundreds more data centers for this new industry. And this is why your electricity bill is higher, because these centers put out so much demand for electricity, which these towns are not equipped to handle. The electricity company has to build new power stations, new transformers, new electricity lines. They have to do all of this physical infrastructure just to meet the demands of this data center. And that in turn goes back to your electricity bill. They need to pay for it somehow, which in turn they will just charge the customers more. So let's recap. It has to be your clean drinking water, or the poor servers will be hurt. Our energy infrastructure is not ready for this brand new industry, and those chemical pollutants are in the environment, and the heat put off from these data centers is hurting the environment. All in all, I hope this helps you better understand why specifically this is not going to be good for us.
Man, she just explained it perfectly and summed it up in a better way than I definitely could have. So, we heard what she said, that essentially you're eating the cost because of these new facilities and the physical infrastructure that's being built that we do not have the energy plan set up for already. So all this is just going into the cost of, let's see, the regular consumer, the poor people, like the lady had mentioned earlier. Sad to see. Let's see what else they're saying here.
Do you hear that noise in the background? That's the sound of a hyperscale data center here in Dowagiac, Michigan. I'm Emma Brott with 16 News Now. Now today I've been talking to residents who are telling me just how loud this place is. Right now there's a class action lawsuit alleging that these loud noises are affecting 1,300 residents within a 1-mile radius of this hyperscale data center. A resident living just across the street from this data center tells me he's bought a decibel reader just to see how loud it is on an average day.
Right there, it's going between 61 and 64 decibels without us talking.
That resident tells me it's been affecting his wife's health and also his pregnant neighbor's health as well, giving her headaches if she stays outside too long just because of how loud it is.
They're planning on building 50.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy. And I think we covered enough on the data centers. Like, y'all got the gist. Y'all got the basics of what's happening here and why you need to pay attention. And this kind of stuff, man, it's happening across America. Things are changing every day. The economy is not getting any better. So yeah, it's imperative, very imperative that you buckle down. You make sure you're in a good field for career, because AI is coming for a lot of people's jobs, man. It's coming for a lot of people's jobs, a lot of industries, a lot of different sectors. So don't think that just because you're in a certain sector where maybe you have more peer-to-peer communication, I guess, that you're safe, because there's a lot of different jobs that AI can do that you didn't even think was possible, and it's coming. And then with them pushing these AI data centers, man, scary to think about where this economy and where this country and society is going with all this technology. But that's life, and you always have to adapt. Even 100 years ago, they had to adapt to the influx of the steam, essentially using steam products and then using oil products and having everything be mechanized essentially for the industrial revolution. So there's a lot of things changed at that time. A lot of people probably lost their jobs, just like now. A lot of people are going to start losing their jobs because AI, if you haven't already lost it. So yeah, hard times are definitely indeed ahead. But make sure you guys pay attention to channels like mine so you can definitely stay informed as far as what's coming, okay? Because I'm going to stay on top of it, all right? So, yeah, A-Town down. I'll see y'all in the next video. Deuces.